There is a man in your city right now. He drives a 10-year-old car. He wears plain clothes with no logos. He eats at regular restaurants. He tips well but says nothing about it. He does not post about his vacations. He does not talk about his investments. He does not correct people when they underestimate him. And he is worth more money than most people in your neighborhood will ever see in their lifetime. You have probably already met someone like this. You just did not know it, because they did not want you to know. This is the quiet rich. And today we are going to talk about who they are, how they think, and why everything they do is the opposite of what most people believe wealth looks like. Part 1. The illusion of wealth. Most people have a picture in their head of what a rich person looks like. They imagine someone in a designer suit, a Rolex on their wrist, a sports car in the driveway, a mansion behind iron gates. That is what wealth looks like in movies, in music videos, and on social media. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Most of the people living that lifestyle are not wealthy. They are in debt. They are performing wealth. They are spending money they do not have to impress people they do not know for a feeling that never lasts. Studies have shown that a significant percentage of people who drive luxury cars and live in upscale neighborhoods are one unexpected bill away from financial crisis. They earn well, but they spend everything they earn and sometimes more. The quiet rich are different. They understood something early that most people take decades to learn, if they ever learn it at all. Wealth is not what you spend. Wealth is what you keep. Let that sit for a moment. Wealth is not what you spend. Wealth is what you keep. The person driving the flashy car is showing you their expenses. The quiet rich person driving the used sedan is showing you their discipline, and discipline compounded over time becomes freedom. Part 2. Old money versus new money. To understand the quiet rich, you have to understand the difference between old money and new money. New money is loud. It celebrates every win. It upgrades the moment the bank account grows. It needs to be seen, validated, and recognized. New money is not necessarily bad. It is just inexperienced. It has not yet learned that visibility can be a liability. Old money is quiet, not because it is shy, but because it has nothing to prove. Old money has already arrived. It does not need applause. It does not need followers. It does not need your approval. Think about the oldest wealthy families in the world, the ones who have held their wealth across multiple generations. They do not post their net worth online. They do not argue about money in public. They do not wear clothing that announces what they paid for it. They move quietly. They invest quietly. They build quietly. And that silence is one of their greatest advantages, because when you are loud about your money, you attract the wrong kind of attention. You attract people who want to take it. You attract people who want a piece of it. You attract lifestyle inflation. You attract expectations that drain you. But when you are quiet, you are invisible, and invisible money grows undisturbed. Part 3. How the quiet rich actually behave. So what does a quiet rich person actually look like up close? What are the behaviors that separate them from everyone else? First, they are obsessed with assets, not appearances. Every financial decision a quiet rich person makes is filtered through one question. Does this make me richer, or does this just make me look richer? A new watch does not generate income. A new car does not generate income. But a rental property does. A stock portfolio does. A business stake does. They are constantly moving money from their pocket into things that will put more money back into their pocket. That is the core habit. Second, they live well below their means, not slightly below. Well below. A person earning $200,000 a year and living on $150,000 is not quietly rich. A person earning $200,000 a year and living on $70,000 is building something. That gap, that space between income and spending, is where wealth is created. Third, they do not talk about money in social settings. If you bring up money around a quietly rich person, they will smile, give a vague answer, and change the subject. Not because they are hiding something illegal, but because they understand that money conversations rarely help them and can often hurt them. They have learned that telling people about your wealth, even close friends, changes relationships. It creates expectations, it creates envy, it creates requests, and none of that serves them. Fourth, they invest in privacy. The quiet rich value their ability to move freely and make decisions without public scrutiny. They understand that the moment the world knows what you have, the world starts forming opinions about what you should do with it. They say no to things that would expose them unnecessarily. They choose privacy not out of fear, but out of strategy. Fifth, they think in decades, not months. While most people are reacting to this week's headlines and this month's market movements, the quiet rich are asking a completely different question. Where will this be in 20 years? They plant seeds they will not always be alive to see fully bloom. They think generationally. Part 4. The psychology behind the silence. Here is something important to understand. The quiet rich did not become quiet by accident. It is a psychological stance that was either inherited, learned, or earned through painful experience. Many quietly wealthy people were once loud, they once celebrated publicly, they once upgraded too fast and talked too much. And then something happened. Maybe the market turned. Maybe a trusted person took advantage of their openness. Maybe they watched someone else destroy their wealth through visibility, and they made a shift. They stopped performing wealth and started protecting it. There is also another layer here. The truly rich have a very different relationship with money than the nearly rich. For the nearly rich, money is still tied to identity. It is proof of something. It is the answer to a question they have been asked their whole life about whether they are enough. But for the quietly wealthy, money has become something else entirely. It is a tool. It is freedom. It is options. It is the ability to say no to things that do not serve them and yes to the things that do. When money stops being about identity and becomes about freedom, something changes. You stop needing people to see it. You stop needing to prove anything. And that quiet confidence, that deep security, is one of the most recognizable things about a truly wealthy person if you know what to look for. Part 5. Signs. You are around a quietly wealthy person. You might be wondering now, how do I actually recognize someone who is quietly rich? Because they are designed to blend in. Here are some real signs. They are always calm in financial conversations. They never panic about money, even when others around them are spiraling. Because they have a cushion most people cannot imagine. They are extremely generous, but not performatively. They pick up the bill without announcing it. They give to causes without posting about it. Generosity without display is a hallmark of old money thinking. They ask more questions than they answer. Quiet rich people are obsessively curious. They listen more than they speak. They gather information constantly. Knowledge is how they stay ahead. They are never in a hurry to spend. When something costs a lot of money, they pause, they think, they sleep on it, even when they can easily afford it. Because the habit of thoughtful spending is what got them where they are. They talk about time more than money. The truly wealthy understand that time is the only non-renewable resource. They protect their time aggressively. They delegate, automate, and eliminate anything that wastes it. They have unusual relationships with status symbols. They might own one very fine thing chosen for personal enjoyment, not for show, but they will not collect status symbols. They have no interest in keeping up with anyone. Part 6. What this means for you. So what do you do with all of this? If you are building wealth right now or you want to, this is what the quiet rich are quietly trying to tell you through the way they live. Stop performing. Every dollar you spend on performing wealth is a dollar you did not invest in actual wealth. The audience you are performing for is mostly broke anyway. Create the gap. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is the most important number in your financial life. Widen it, protect it, live inside it comfortably. Think long. Every financial decision you make today is a message to your future self. Make sure it is a good one. Guard your information. You do not owe anyone access to your financial life. Privacy is not dishonesty, it is wisdom. Redefine what rich looks like. Rich is waking up and choosing your day. Rich is saying no to things that cost you your peace. Rich is options. Rich is time. Rich is freedom. It is almost never the thing you can see from the outside. The quiet rich figured this out, and now you know their secret. The most powerful version of wealth is the kind that does not need to announce itself. It just exists. It just works, quietly, steadily, and always growing. Outro. If this video made you see wealth differently, do me one favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, not to show off what you know, but because changing how people think about money changes how they live. And subscribe if you want more of this. We are building something here, quietly, steadily, just like the quiet rich would.